Welcome into a brand new episode of WSI TV. Enjoy the show.
To another brand new episode of Bishop's Move here on WSI TV. I'm Jordan Bishop and I'm joined by Lea Warren. How you doing, Lea?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thanks. So before we jump into today's episode, The Finance of Fitness, I want to remind you to go over to WSITV.com. Make sure you sign up for those free daily newsletters. And of course, you get instant access to the WSI Vault. Now, Lea, I'm going to hand it off to you to walk us through what we're talking about today.
Yeah, so as you said, we're talking about the finance of fitness. Fitness is one of the fastest growing industries in the US and globally. The health industry is currently serving over 71.5 million people. In 2018, consumers visited their health clubs more than 6 billion times, which is a huge increase from previous years. And it's just a really big number. And then generally since 2008, health club membership, which includes gyms, spas, things like that, it's grown by 37.1%. Yeah, so a lot of big numbers.
Yeah, that's huge. And I know you brought here in 2018, there were 62.5 million gym members in the United States alone. It's kind of funny because the United States has this reputation of being unhealthy, right? A lot of the fast food chains are based out of here, but it looks like we're finally heading towards a healthier United States, which would be good.
Yeah, so we're definitely the biggest contributor to the fitness craze, which has really grown since 2008 on. It's this really big 2010s movement towards better health. And then it's a big part of New Year's resolutions, which is relevant right now. So more than 12% of new members join in January each year, which is a huge uptick from the other months of the year.
Staggering numbers there. I mean, you know, people just, it's that time of the year, isn't it? So yeah, those are some crazy numbers right there. I mean, without looking at this, I never would have thought that. But what does it have to do with investing here? Because that's what we're all about, right?
So basically, all of that just proves what a big industry this is and how fast it's growing. It grew drastically from 2008 on till today, and then it's going to keep growing into 2025 and beyond. We have some projections looking forward. The global health industry, or the global health club industry alone, is worth $100 billion as of 2019, and that's a number that's projected to keep growing. And that's just health clubs. That doesn't include any equipment, that doesn't include any of the services that you buy for your home, that doesn't include any of the natural cures that are supposed to help you remain fit. So,
or any new trends that could pop out of this, because I mean, this is an industry that's really blossoming lately. And you know, as we saw with the tech industry, there was all these different legs. You know, we got crazy things like cryptocurrency that came out of it that added to that industry. So without all those things, still, you know, projected to be $100 billion, that is a massive number right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've actually already talked about a few stocks that have benefited from this growth in the industry. One of the biggest ones is Lululemon. We talked about that actually in our retail episode a few weeks ago. And it's actually increased even more since we talked about it.
Right. I mean, not to toot our own horn, but there's the chart in front of you a few weeks ago. It's gone up quite a bit. So that was a decent pick there. I believe that was your pick. So, you know, I'm sure if any of you got in that pick, you'd be sitting in some money right now, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the retail side of things, which is growing. That was one of our stocks that proved that retail is not dying out. And they specialize in athleisure wear and athletic wear. So that is just one facet of all that covers fitness.
Absolutely. And just a quick note on that there. So athleisure wear or athletic wear clothing, you know, for fitness, right? That's a good example of somebody thinking outside the box, of the creator of Lululemon coming up with, you know, looking at the idea and saying, okay, the fitness craze is growing. Do I want to start a gym? I mean, everyone's doing that. Do I want to do this? Do I want to have great supplements? No, they thought outside the box. Well, what do people need? You know, it's like the Levi Strauss story we talk about quite a bit, how Levi Strauss was getting in on the gold rush. But he didn't go after gold or miners or even shovels or anything like that. He started creating jeans that wouldn't wear away for these miners that were digging. So it's a good comparison there that Lululemon got in on this, sort of, again, thinking outside that box. So.
Yeah, and a lot of different companies are starting to do that, which is part of why we've seen this craze just blossom in the last few years. Fitness includes gym memberships, fitness clubs, pre- and post-workout products, vitamins, exercise equipment, athletic wear, fitness accessories, so like an Apple Watch, like the one that I'm wearing, organic products, and just so many things that are outside that basic box of what you think of as fitness and health.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that's growing are subscriptions. I mean, the subscription-based model now is huge. We have it with companies like Dollar Shave Club who are doing a monthly subscription. It ties you in. I mean, gyms have been doing that for a long time, but now it's becoming more digitized. There's weight loss subscriptions, and then there's newsletter subscriptions about health. So, I mean, this industry is, it's big, but I think it's got a huge way to go here.
Yeah, it's also very diversified. And then we're going to look a little bit at who pursues fitness. So if you're trying to get in on this game, whether it's through stocks or direct investment, whatever you want to do with it, who are you getting your money from? So the U.S. is actually the largest for fitness club industries in the world. So we, despite being labeled as the unhealthy country, are actually the biggest country to pursue fitness. And then this actually kind of surprised me. There's a huge demographic of people that are involved in gyms and other memberships like that. Ages 20 through 64 are active members of gyms, subscriptions, anything that is within that fitness bubble. That
is a huge demographic. I mean, if you want to be a successful business, you could be successful on an age group of say 20 years, but this demographic spanning 44 years plus. I mean, that's massive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a really positive thing, because that means that you're reaching plenty of people and there's so much room for growth. And then within that demographic, it's actually millennials ages 18 to 24, and then baby boomers ages 55 and up that are the most active and the most physically involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's like the ends of that demographic, the younger side and the older side. I don't know what you Gen Xers are doing, but join the club. It'll boost this industry.
They're actually the most unlikely to go to the gym.
Wow,
so.
That's interesting. I wonder why that is. But
I couldn't find any statistics on why it was, but that really intrigued me. So
yeah, very interesting there. Surprising to see, again, just I think millennials and baby boomers don't have the most in common either, so it's interesting to see that connection there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the way that we're pursuing fitness is really important when we're figuring out how to invest. Boutique fitness is the fastest growing brick and mortar exercise category. So between 2013 and 2017, membership grew by 121%. So that's a huge number. And boutique fitness it basically means small fitness stores. So stores that'll specialize in herbal remedies, or little studios that will specialize in dance for adults or yoga classes, things like that.
So not necessarily chains then, more like your mom and pop.
Exactly.
Sort of,
yeah. So that's kind of impressive to see and encouraging to see that small business is growing.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, personal trainers have become a huge industry. There were over 577,000 businesses in the U.S. for personal trainers. As of 2018, and that's a still growing industry.
Yeah, I mean, people, that's it's interesting because people want to, we spoke about this before the show, but we're becoming almost like a hermit society.
Absolutely.
People want to stay in. It's so easy to order. Although our retail episode showed that brick and mortar stores are doing really well.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's just the impression, but people want that in the home comfort, personal trainer. And that also branches out. We were talking about Peloton as well.
Yeah.
Just have to warn you, Peloton's not a good stock pick right now. We do have some great ones for you in just a bit. But the idea behind Peloton, I think if it can revive. So you buy this, this bike for a couple grand, that's how it hit the market, and I'm sure they're making some good money from it. But it's the personal aspect of it. You get on the bike and someone's talking to you, you're in a class. It's social without being physically there, But Peloton have also started doing, they've released an app, that you can use in your home, so you don't necessarily have to buy this expensive equipment. So their price range is coming down a bit, which I think should open up their market a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is also in recent years there have been lots of protein powders and weight loss cures, muscle building vitamins, kind of easy ways to get fit fast and without spending a ton on a gym membership.
Right.
So the low cost, quick solution is what everybody's looking for. And that's a big part of why we've seen things move online and move into the home.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of crazy to think about, too, how much, I mean, just going out of this to sports, right, the sports industry, think about how much these athletes are getting paid now.
Yeah.
Like, you may sit there and think, wow, that's crazy, like, how are they getting paid that much? But it's because the demand for, your normal person to be like them, to follow them, that's why the brands are sponsoring them, because they've got so much, so many sets of eyes on them. So that's also a good indication of the health and fitness industry right there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and then right here we have a chart that just shows how much there's potential for growth in this industry. So this is just for fitness equipment and health clubs. And the blue line that you'll see right here is home, health club, and other commercial dots that are showing how much was spent in the year 2018. And then the red, which is way up here, is the projection for 2025. So you can see there's a lot of room for growth in the next few years. So this is a business industry that's just starting to take off.
Right, especially the health club as well. That jumps quite drastically there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Very
And
good
again,
one.
health club is much more diverse. It's not just gyms. It's also spas. It's yoga studios, all of that. The biggest movers in fitness, though, are traditional gyms, and then athletic equipment for the home and for stocking gyms, and weight loss products, which include those protein powders and things like that we mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So again, coming back to it, this is all great. You may have a different answer the next time your friend asks you to go to hot yoga or something like that. But how do you make money from it?
Yeah. So I mean, it's always with the stocks, right? We're looking for companies that are really, really thriving because of this change and this increase in the fitness industry. And today we're going to actually look at a gym, a health foods company, and an unexpected online vendor that's contributed to the health industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump into the first one. We've got Planet Fitness here. They've been around for quite a while, and that is one of the strongest looking charts I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. So they had a little bit of a dip at the beginning of the year, but they recovered really, really well. And then just historically, it's a really strong chart. And even with that dip, there's been a 301% increase since 2017, which is huge.
That is huge, yeah. And I mean, as a gym, their profit margins should be pretty large. They don't really have a cap on how many memberships they can sell because, I mean, I really wonder what the numbers are about their attendance rate. I'm sure it's like 20% of people with memberships show up or something, maybe even less than that. I don't know. So there's not a lot of, I mean, all they do have to do is run the building and sell those subscriptions as memberships.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a really smart business plan because there is this, you have to pay to get in, and then people are in it for the long run, whether they show up or not. And all you have to do is keep the space.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So they have a lot of different facilities. They have a traditional gym, and they have different classes and specialty areas. Some of them have spas. This is one of the more affordable gym memberships, which is probably why it's the most successful.
Yeah, they've found their niche there. And also it looks like it's about to break into a new all-time high, which is great for any stock because it means there's no selling pressure. And the next chart you have for us, Leah, here is Nestle. Can you talk a little bit about this one?
Yeah, so this one probably brings to mind chocolate and milk because they did start off as a brand that promoted especially chocolate milk, but also just regular milk. And it was specifically supposed to help with calcium intake and strong bones in children. And since their inception, they've grown and expanded, and they're a big part of that protein powder craze that we mentioned. And they're also just a general producer of a wide range of health foods and drinks and other fitness supplements. And again, this is a pretty strong chart. They're nearing that all-time high right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're about to break through that.
They had a big day of volume, a big week of volume last week as well. And as you'll notice, like this is a completely, it's a different model than Planet Fitness, but the past 6 months almost look identical. It peaked, it came down a bit, and it's looking to break that new all-time high again. So that's a good example of a sort of like structural trend, really, or whatever you would call it. But it's a different business model. But they're sort of going the same way. So it means the demand for the overall health industry. That's another indication of it too.
Yeah, and again, this is a really great time to be getting in on this. With the new year right here, everybody is trying really hard to get to those New Year's resolutions, and the biggest and most common New Year's resolution is to be more physically fit.
Right.
So all of these companies are skyrocketing right now.
And the good thing about Nestle too is once this New Year's resolution fad is over in a couple weeks, Nestle will still be selling chocolate for those who want to go back on their sweet tooth binge. So I would say that's a diverse stock, right?
Definitely.
And the last one you have for us, Leah, is Amazon. I mean, what can you say about Amazon?
I mean, we all know that Amazon is kind of the lion of stocks. This one might be surprising because it doesn't seem immediately to scream fitness, but it's actually one of the biggest distributors of fitness equipment and then fitness apparel and those powders and supplements. And then again, it's just a strong chart. We know it's a strong chart. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And if they need any more reasons, they've also bought Whole Foods, which is massive, and they've completely turned that business around from what I've seen. Its popularity is growing rapidly now that Amazon's Jeff Bezos is at the helm with his team. So. Yeah, I mean, you can't really say anything wrong about Amazon. I think that's one that just sort of I don't see any fault in it. You know,
Yeah.
it's so diverse. It's almost like buying like an ETF. You know?
Yeah, exactly, because they just have their hands in a little bit of everything. But they are a huge part of the fitness craze, and
Right.
they're definitely benefiting off of that. They've increased 139% in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we're actually at a really good point right now where it's kind of evening out. So this could be a really great point to get in on Amazon.
Exactly, yeah, and I'm sure it'll push for that $2,000 mark again, and probably look for those new highs that it hit. It hit mid last year, but yeah, 3 great stocks there. So this is a great opportunity to take advantage of this health craze without getting off your couch. You don't actually have to go get the gym membership or anything like that. You can simply just buy these 3 stocks,
Yeah.
and now you're in. You know, you can say you're healthy, or you're financially healthy at least. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, there's so much room for growth in this industry, and it's just been consistently growing over the last decade. The projections show that it's going to keep growing this decade. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Leah, this was a fantastic topic you've brought to us today. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of WSI TV. Be sure to visit WSITV.com where you can subscribe for free with no contract and gain instant access to the secrets of self-made millionaires via the WSI TV Vault. So go ahead and claim this gift for free now at WSITV.com.